Is it working? Okay, hi guys and welcome. Welcome back to some more Kingdom Come Deliverance. This might be, not sure, I'm not gonna count my chicken before they hatch, count my eggs before they hatch, whatever, but this might be our final episode over here. We're pretty dumb state over here because I did upgrade my equipment. Basically, I got the most expensive equipment with the best protection possible. We have like this leg plate that is full on for the foot and leg as well. We got a decorated body chainmail, and you know we already had a helmet, but we also got a head chainmail that's a little bit better. So yeah, we are pretty much in for a killing here. I think the trebuchet has done its job, so we are preparing over here for probably the last assault, and hopefully this time I haven't forgotten to turn on the volume for the game. What had happened is I wanted to try the Lula Baby potion, which makes you fall asleep like instantly, but not only that it makes you fall asleep, but it reduces your energy to zero, so you just cannot sleep enough to like recover all that energy. That's annoying, but we could eat this actually. A cockerel potion should get us back on track over here. I'm not sure why our charisma is really that affected, but oh well. Well, Rat Eye doesn't really like us, huh? Yeah. Went back to do a few quests that involved harming soldiers, so about that. Apparently the cockerel potion gives you drunkenness. I thought it would work the other way around, but yeah. Think we have done it.
Since Sir Divish's colours still aren't flying over Talmberg, I suppose we'll be attacking.
Just so. That Ishtvan's a stubborn bastard.
Alright, when do we start?
There's no reason to wait. Are you really ready? If you need to rest or anything, we can still wait. You won't have another chance until we've won the day. Or until your final rest.
Yep.
I'm ready.
Have our armor, we
Glad to
have
hear it.
everything.
We're going to attack on two fronts. The north gate and the west wall, which will scale with ladders. The attack will be split into different stages. Taking the outer walls, the inner bailey, and finally the core of the castle and the tower.
Right.
How are we going to attack the gate?
We'll try to do as much damage as we can with the trebuchet first. Keezer claims he can even hit it directly. Even if that's true, we'll have to charge through a downpour of enemy arrows all the way to the portcullis.
Portcullis?
I think it's
Fortunately,
the...
it's wooden, so we'll be able to break it down. But dealing with the defense in the bailey won't be easy.
Yeah.
And what's the plan for attacking the west wall?
First, we have to get men to the wall with ladders, which is no easy matter under fire, so we'll need as many men covering them as possible. As soon as the ladders are in place, our foot soldiers will run up and try to scale the wall. Once a few of them get to the battlements, we should quickly gain the upper hand.
Yep.
How will we take the battlements?
Either by scaling the west wall, or our men at the gate will help. If they can break through, that is.
Hmm.
And the inner bailey?
That will be tough. Even if we get through the gate and into the outer bailey, we're still a long way from victory. The castle is designed so we'll be like hens in a coop to anyone with a bow on the inner battlements. We'll have to either fight our way through, or somehow get around them.
Right.
What about the living quarters?
There, I'm worried most about the hostages. Once we're inside, Ishtvan will know defeat is inevitable, but we'll still have to fight for each and every room.
It's gonna be tough.
I think I've heard everything I need to know.
Whoa,
Do
another
you want to
shot.
join the attack on the walls or on the gate? Remember, many of the Skalitz men will follow you. It could make a big difference.
I'll help with the attack on the walls.
I'm proud of you, Henry. You've changed from an insolent pup into a tough, reliable fighter. And as
sure
God
have.
is my witness, we will kick those whore sons' arses.
A village lad and an old soldier. This man must be shaking in his boots.
If he's not shaking, then he doesn't know what he's got coming. Just one last thing, though. No matter how good the plan is, something always gets fucked up.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes open and take advantage of every chance. Help your comrades and don't go rushing in where you're outnumbered. We have to take the castle gradually, one position after another.
I'll remember that.
Good luck to you, stripling.
Good luck to
Stripling.
you, old soldier.
Wow. So dramatic. But yeah, I think this will be the assault of the ages. Long loading screen for extra dramaticism. Storm the walls. It's interesting that they didn't leave the choice to us whether to get the walls or not. Yes! At them! Oh boy. They have archers. Not sure how good I am with this, but I'll try. I am terrible. Ah! Fuck, that was terrible. Alright, boy. Sorry that I missed every single arrow. I am not good with that targeting reticle. Neither in game nor in real life, as a matter of fact. Look at that, we are in the vanguard. Second one. Oops. See this right away, and here's the first kill. And he's dead as well. Mercy kill. Get him. All right. Get him. Good one. Head cracker. Careful. This one is very well armored. Fuck, he's strong. Oops. So many hits. Fuck. Okay, you can deal with that one. What the fuck was that? Oh. The poor horse. Get him! Oh, okay. Ow. It's a bunch of guys. Good on the reinforcements there. Okay, I think he's done for. Okay, what else we have? Here it's all open. Over here as well. Trespassing. I don't think that's the time for saying that. What are you guys all standing for? Come on. Where the hell are they? I think we've killed them all. Yeah, they have busted through here. This one is broken. Hearing the sounds, but there's no fighting. And that's our original home. Wait, what exactly are we waiting for here? I'm so confused. I think we won? Question mark? Yes, there is here. This place is busted. Oh, there you go. Didn't see this place. Hey, we did it! Oh my god, look at all that level ups. Strength, vitality, defense, and agility. With 2 extra perks. All at once. Well, we just brutally slaughtered them. It's the end for them.
Sir, we should give the order.
Let's see if Istvan Toth can worm his way out of this one.
Don't tempt fate, Hanush.
Istvan! It's over! You want us to come and get you?
I wouldn't advise that. Your friend Divish wants to see his wife alive again.
And Sir Radzig? Are both hostages unharmed?
For now, Hanush, unless circumstances change.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. My guest is also safe and sound, but he's also quite keen to go home. I imagine you feel the same way. It's been a long time since you warmed yourself at your own hearth.
I'm in no hurry. I've plenty of supplies here, grand view and excellent company. What more could I want?
Your freedom!
Freedom? Freedom to get an arrow in the back?
Sir, you're all noblemen here, all bound by honor. I give you my word as a knight and lord, and that of my companions. If you release Lady Stephanie and Sir Radzig, you may leave the castle with your men and go on your way unharmed.
Well, that's very good offer.
Just how far will we get? What good will it do me if your men attack us in the woods instead of here?
If you give me your word of honor that you will leave and never return, I promise you safe passage to the boundary of this fiefdom. What happens after that is up to you and the will of God Almighty.
Very well then, but I want a small safeguard. I'll give you her ladyship, but Radzig comes with me. I'll release him in Skalitz.
Out of the question. Is our word not good enough for you?
Is mine not good enough for you? I swear I'll release him when I get to a safe distance.
I'll go with him, Hanush. Let the Lady Stephanie have her freedom now.
Father!
Don't worry, son. I trust Lord Toth's self-interest more than his word. He wouldn't be fool enough to harm me.
If you're certain, Radzig.
Prepare horses and supplies, and tell your men to pull back. We'll come down.
You heard him. Get to work. And any man who breaks this truce answers to me.
Yep.
So are you really going to let them go?
My word is my bond, Henry.
He's a cutthroat and a liar. Good men are dead because of him. What's to stop us from skewering him as soon as he sets foot outside?
Our honor.
If you let him go, he'll do the same again. Or worse.
God's justice will find him. Then, you'll get a taste of my mace.
If we break our word of honor, we have none. And without honor, we are nothing. Never fear.
True
Your
that.
father will be all right.
We'll hunt down those vermin yet.
Good to see Sir Capon over here in full armor.
Bring the horses.
Here she is, as I promised. Not a hair on her head harmed.
Divish,
Stephanie.
forgive me, husband. I'm sorry
For what?
for letting them into the castle.
Come now, my dear. You're not to blame.
Hmm.
I didn't know who he was. He said he was your friend.
Never mind. Did he hurt you?
No,
Huh.
I hope your word can be trusted.
Certainly more than yours.
Oh.
Everything goes as agreed. I'll set Radzig free in Skalitz. If anyone tries to follow us, I'll kill him.
We won't.
My apologies for keeping you from your father, but you'll see each other soon enough. Oh, I almost forgot. Your sword. I expect you'll want it back after all the trouble you went to.
Huh.
Actually, you know what? I think I'll keep it.
Oh, what
As a
an
memento.
ass.
This isn't over. I'll find you.
I look forward to it. Yeah!
The thing that started all, you know, the fucking sword that he built and we were supposed to deliver it.
To the battlements! We have to see which way they go! Oh, they really are heading for Skalitz. Mount up, Henry.
You've heard what he'll do if we follow them.
We're not going to follow them. We just have to collect your father. Or do you want him to walk back here when they release him?
Alright. Boy, oh boy. That was a little bit of a weird hiccup over there, like we got inside, but there was one part of the battlement that was not yet ready.
The way you found Toth, sneaking into Brannick all on your own. Well, what I mean is, hats off to you, Hal. You wouldn't catch me doing that.
Truth is, I didn't think much about it. I just felt I had to do it.
Do we have caps lock for the horse? No.
What should I say to it?
Don't worry, it'll come to you. You'll see.
Well, I just hope he'll be there. Alive.
Remember when we went hunting and he was like on the horse and we were on foot? Times have changed, huh?
Now.
Not long ago, I only made plans 3 days ahead at most. Maybe I really could do something for Rattay and its people. Something really big. But there'll be plenty of time for that later. What do you think? Will Toth keep his word?
He's a noble, right?
Yes. So am I.
So Radzig will be there.
It was a weird little thing he did there. Oh, come on. Yeah, and it's fucking pathfinding, dude. Stop going through the fucking bushes.
This is quite a turnaround, isn't it?
What do you mean?
How long have we known each other?
And he's shaking wildly. Look at this. This fucking game, man. Like, it's nice and all, but has a few glitches that just do not fucking make it work. Yeah, I guess he likes it through the forest better than on the road. Well, the final moment.
There's no sign of them. Move on.
Hmm.
There!
Ah, finally rendered him.
I'm glad to see Ishvan kept his word, sir.
Not half as glad as I am, Your Grace.
Well, we kept our word too. And now Toth has had his head start and he's fair game. Which way do they go?
To the north, but I would be careful, Sir Hans.
Fear not, Your Grace. I have twice as many men as he. Well, I won't keep you any longer. I'm sure the two of you have a lot to say to each other. Let's go!
Are they giving chase? That's pretty ambitious.
You alright, Father?
I am. They treated me quite decently. Although they did steal my horse, so I'll have to go back on foot.
Is it now the time for
Looks
explanations?
like it's all over.
Not by a long shot. It won't be over until we get this mess cleared up.
And catch that bastard. How could we let him go?
Would you rather we killed him? Even if it meant Lady Stephanie and I died too?
No, of course not. But what was to stop us from killing him after the exchange?
Honor.
Honor.
If the word of honor of a nobleman could not be trusted, then he would never have agreed to the exchange.
Yep.
Where's the honor in abandoning your son?
You know how it is. We were young. It happened. And I couldn't marry a commoner.
Hmm.
Then your father, I mean Martin, came along and took care of both of you.
He knew it.
What? That I was your father? Certainly. He was a great man. He took you as his own. And always kept an eye on you. Of that you can be sure.
Hmm.
I know so little about his past.
He told you nothing. Oddly enough, even though you don't have his blood, you're very like him.
Hmm.
When he was around your age, he became bored of his trade and set out to see the world. He lived through many adventures, even fought in a war.
Nice. He was
A war?
pretty good with the sword.
Yes, in Poland, I believe. And I don't think he cared much for it.
That's why he wanted me to stay at home.
He spent some time in Prague, then settled in Kuttenberg. But it seems he quarreled with someone there and finally ended up here. You know the rest.
I loved him, but even so, I somehow always had a feeling I didn't quite fit in.
It was in your blood, I suppose.
I lost the one thing I had left from him.
Yeah, the
Your
sword.
sword.
Ah, the sword.
We have a much better sword than
It's
by the
not
way.
my sword. It's yours.
Wow.
For a moment there, it was so near, yet so far. Oh well, it can't be helped.
It was almost within my grasp, but just then I had something else on my mind.
Well, I think we may yet have a chance to get it back. This business with Toth is not yet over, unfortunately.
That's a chance I'd welcome. Not just to get the sword, but that bastard Istvan too. And then I'll find that German whoreson who torched Skalitz, and I'll slay him with it.
Yeah, we've
never
almost
forget
forgot
his
about
face.
that.
Or his name. Mark Vart von Aulitz.
Those are noble intentions, son. But don't forget there are other things in this world that are worth living for.
Like what?
Look around you. Blue skies overhead, green grass underfoot, beautiful girls. Good wine, a few good friends, and a fine steed under your backside.
Yeah.
Those are things worth living for. Though I can't deny that swine who killed your mother must pay for what he did. But it's better not to dwell too much on that, at the cost of those other things.
Pretty much.
On the subject of steeds, I think we'll have to ride like the Knights Templar.
How's that?
2 up. One day I'll tell you how they got their seal. You can take the front.
Of course.
It's like I always imagined it would be, teaching my boy to ride. Although it would be better if you were a little smaller. My word, it's all go today, isn't it? I wonder who this is.
I think I know. It's Margrave Jobst.
Oh, that
King's
guy.
cousin. I wonder what he wants.
They said that
Guess
they
we'll
would
find out
arrive,
soon enough.
but didn't arrive fast enough for the bell, I guess. Oh, and it just ends right here, not even like finding out about that. Wow, okay. Well, I guess this is it. The end. Kingdom Come Deliverance. A very neat little medieval RPG game. You know, the combat was very accurately made. The game itself was very historically accurate build, not just with characters, but with the way the cities were modeled, the way the villagers were behaving. The atmosphere itself really gave you the feeling of, you know, medieval hero back into the 14s. The fact that you couldn't read and you had to learn that. Similar with writing, the fact that Latin was pretty prevalent, the fact that, you know, there was alchemy and the theory of like the 4 different vials that were in your system and that they had to be balanced in order to be healthy. So they really did a lot of work on like actually finding things out and tuning them to be as accurate as possible. But unfortunately, in doing so, they might have cut corners where it came to performance. And both me and you guys, as we played, saw that even while playing on like windowed mode and low resolution, we still had moments of, you know, lag, moments in which it took time for the textures to fully render on, you know, people, especially far away. So many headless persons all over the place. And then you had the problems with the AI, especially when you build an open game like this, which gave you a lot of choice, which is a good thing. Not trying to shit on it. You had so many quests had many different ways in which you can finish them off, and, you know, being honorable, being more like rough like a bandit, and basically building up your character into what he was at the end was all through a series of choices. But this does bring the problem that in certain situations the AI would behave abnormally, like when there was that part when we had to like prevent the assassination of the siege master, or where we had to follow someone and things like that. It is a little bit weird, but if you exclude the AI problems and the texture loading performance issues, this is a very good game. Totally recommended. Obviously, if you want to play fully honorable, it might have been more difficult. You know, not like I played by stealing and robbing every time I took the chance, until I was filthy rich and then I just didn't care because I had too much money. It is difficult at the beginning of the game to work around with the little resources you have, and to level up it takes some time. The level up system is also pretty neatly made, and you do notice the difference. As you start off, you can barely swing a sword or a club, and at the end we become just this fucking beast that we slay soldier after soldier battles were cool, although once again AI problems, and yeah. That being said, no real animals were harmed during the development of this game. Um, Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more. I'm gonna make a playlist out of this series in case you've missed anything. You can go through it and watch it again. And as I have mentioned, this game are basically the first 2 acts of a 3-act series. So there will be some sort of sequel to this game at some point, and I will be looking forward to playing that one as well when it comes out. I hope I can keep the save and everything, even though arguably maybe you don't want to if you screwed up your reputation with the towns at the end. Not that I've done that or anything, just an idea. So yeah. Anything more of the thing over here? How much I've been recording? Ah, not really much. I was pretty close. I could have finished it in the last episode if I made it a little bit longer, but I didn't want to bother you too much. So, can we can't skip this. I'm sorry for anyone in the credits left out. Oh, there is a after credits scene, so let's see before we finish it. Wow. Man, we really dressed up fancy, did we?
You're doing well, son. Father. Come now. You know who sired you. That doesn't matter now. I miss you, Amar. I miss you very much. You'll be fine. We're proud of you. For what? I let you down. I lost the sword. I let that bastard get away.
Don't be so hard on yourself. There was nothing you could have done to save us. And someone has to live and carry the torch. As for the sword, it's just a thing.
You didn't want me fighting. Now look at me.
Standing up to evil isn't the same as sowing its seeds. You did what was right.
Almost. Whoops. Ignore all the looting and stealing and pickpocketing and robbing graves and...
I have to leave you now.
Oh, please.
You know I can't stay.
You know, I'm just a vision, right?
Will I ever see you again?
God knows. Make her proud.
Don't go.
Oh, don't go. No.
What on earth were you dreaming about? I couldn't wake you, and it's well past dawn. Sir Radzig wants you at the upper castle. The lords are in council with Jobst.
Right.
Oh god, we haven't
Go
finished
straight
yet?
away. What is it?
It's just... I don't know how to address you anymore. All of a sudden you're Sir Radzig's son, hobnobbing with lords and ladies. And here's me as common as muck.
Oh, give over, you idiot. Do I look like a lord to you?
Not really. You're as much a lord as I am a nun. And I've never looked good in a habit.
Get out of here! Or I'll have you clapped in the stocks.
Nice. Yeah, son of a lord now. So we didn't become ennoblated, you know, becoming a noble through our own power, but through a small little sparkle sprinkled in there. Wait, so do I have to... Oh, alright, it actually completed quest. Epilogue. There is the epilogue, huh? I was just about to say, you know, all the things with like subscribe and see you next time. But it seems that we have a little bit left. What the hell?
Well then.
I have nothing for you, mate. Do you even know
Hey!
who I am? Sorry.
What?
Pardon me.
Hey, what?
Some things never change, do they?
Can't hide from me.
Let's go. Never surrender. That's our motto. Alright, let's see what's going on here. I guess it's from the things that I stole from him back before I left the city 2 days ago. It's interesting how their AI is so dumb at like pathfinding, at like linking
Hal,
things, but they
you going to the
remember
meeting
shit.
with Margrave Jobst as well?
I am. What about Istvan? I assume...
That we didn't catch him? No. Because if we had, you'd be the first one to know. Have no fear. We'll get him eventually.
I hope you're right. Anyway, let's go and see what Jobst wants from us.
This will be the, you know, cliffhanger for the next act. Although it would have been a bigger cliffhanger just leaving it at what it was, but I guess this is fine, yeah?
My lords, Christ's blessings on you all.
And on you, Lord Capon.
And this is my son, Henry.
I didn't know you had a son, Sir Redzig.
It came as a bit of a surprise to young Henry, too.
This gentleman here is John II of Liechtenstein, a member of my council.
I'm honored, gentlemen.
Come join us. Margrave Jobst was just about to tell us the reason for his visit. Your Grace?
I'm sure we're all agreed, Your Graces, that all this unrest must come to an end. This kingdom needs a king.
Question is, which king?
My cousin, Wenceslas IV, who is being held in captivity.
I have to confess, my lord, that your answer surprises me a little. If I'm correctly informed, until recently you sided with your other cousin, Sigismund.
That I cannot deny, and I have always stated my position plainly. But times have changed.
How have they changed, Your Grace?
Sir, there is one thing on which we undoubtedly concur, that King Wenceslas, unfortunately, did not inherit his father's gift for governing. Sadly, his failures have cost Bohemia, the nobles, and our whole Luxembourg family a great deal of money and effort.
How did the king let it go so far, damn it?
It's in his temperament. He cares only for wine, women, and the hunt. A king, in fact, who never wanted to be king.
Then why didn't he just let his brother have the crown?
Young sir, the crown weighs heavy when there are duties to be performed, but to surrender it means giving up great privileges too.
But he did surrender power to his brother. When things started getting out of hand, Wenceslas appealed to Sigismund for help in restoring order.
What, you're saying Wenceslas invited him here?
This is starting to make my head spin.
Actually, it makes sense when you think about it. Sigismund wanted to re-establish the power of the whole House of Luxembourg. He thought if he helped Wenceslas win the imperial crown, in return his brother would help him become the king of the Romans, and leave the actual reign of Bohemia and the empire to him. Sigismund would govern, while Wenceslas could carry on doing what he was best at, enjoying the life of the imperial court.
Why wasn't Wenceslas crowned Holy Roman Emperor long ago? He was already elected king of the Romans. All he had to do was go and let the Pope put the damn imperial crown on his head.
Who knows? Maybe he'd prefer hunting and consorting with bathhouse wenches to spending time with the Pope.
Well, so
Who
would
wouldn't?
I must admit.
Sigismund's plan seemed sound enough, but it didn't quite work out, did it?
It worked for a while. He and his brother reached an agreement. Sigismund took over administration of the kingdom and began planning Wenceslas's journey to Rome for the imperial coronation.
But
But then Wenceslas realized he would just be a puppet with a crown.
I must say, Margrave Jobst, Wenceslas and Prokop behave rather like naughty children in need of a good clout about the ears.
Sigismund would agree. He was already planning his rule of Bohemia, and all of a sudden, the rug was pulled from under him. I'd say he lost his patience and decided he'd drag Wenceslas to the coronation kicking and screaming if he had to. Just like a naughty child, as you say.
So he abducted him and your brother Prokop too, if I heard correctly.
Correct.
And you helped him do it, if I heard correctly.
Yes, your graces, it's true. I was there when Sigismund abducted Prokop. I thought everything could somehow be settled, that we could make my brother see sense. But Sigismund just wanted to put an end to the dispute once and for all, whatever the cost. There was nothing I could do to stop him. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here. The worst of it is that it was all for nothing. Instead of putting a stop to the revolt, it escalated it, and the result is this chaos we have today.
That's true enough, sir. But I must admit now, I'm not sure what your position is. The king is incompetent, but we must protect him?
The simple truth, gentlemen, is that for all of Wenceslas's faults, we have no one else.
So we'll have to make do with his idleness.
People like him, though.
But what can we do now? Sigismund has the League of Lords behind him. Otto von Bergolf, Heinrich von Rosenberg.
The situation has gotten completely out of control. Now even the nobles of the League of Lords are realizing that Sigismund wasn't the right choice.
So
Really?
now Berghoff is on your side. Are we to assemble an army together with him and face Sigismund on the field of battle?
We're not in Hungary now. Such affairs may be settled elegantly, without unnecessary hostilities or expenses.
that would be
I have
good for a
negotiated
change.
an alliance with the Hungarian bishops, the Polish, and of course the Czech nobility, against Sigismund. Every day he is losing the ground under his feet, and that's why I need your help too.
What kind of help, though? Sigismund has a massive army, and Rosenberg, Berghoff, and Prague are behind him. Do you have an army you could face him with?
But that's not what I mean at all. There's been a revolt against Sigismund in Hungary, partly due to my efforts, and now he'll have to choose whether he wants to gain the Bohemian crown, which is a very risky enterprise, or hold on to the Hungarian one. He can't have both. And there's a tough struggle awaiting him in Hungary. I'm not sure he'll win, and Rosenberg and Berghoff know it too. They're not stupid. If the Bohemian nobility stands together, they will turn.
We are men of little consequence, Margrave. Radzig here lost everything because of his alliance with Wenceslas. Sir Divish came within a hair of the same fate. Even Rattay is defenseless against Sigismund and the League of Lords.
What's more, your grace, King Wenceslas languishes in captivity in Vienna. He can't rule too well from there.
And what do you propose? To sit with your arms folded till the Bohemian lands are turned to ashes like Skalitz? We have to put a stop to this senseless war.
And do you know, sir, what the true position of the League of Lords is?
I'm not on the best of terms with them at this moment, so you'll have to ask them yourselves.
Yes. Why not? I'll go and visit Berghoff at his castle and we'll see what he tells me.
You know, that's not such a bad idea, young sir.
True. Though a little risky.
I doubt Berghoff would harm a blue-blooded envoy. And you can find out what he has to say about developments and what the League of Lords is planning. Then we'll decide what to do next.
I'll help you compose a letter to him.
I'd like Henry to come with me.
Perfect.
Why not? He's proven himself an able investigator, and he'll also be a good bodyguard if anything should happen.
And I'll send Sir John here to Kuttenberg to be my eyes and ears there. I believe both your reports will help us get a better grip on the situation.
When can you set out?
Just as soon as I've packed my things.
Excellent. Margrave Jobst and I will draft a letter. Get ready, and we'll meet back here.
So that is what is gonna happen. Are we still wanted in Rattay?
Write it in your name as Lord of Lipa.
Quite so, Margrave.
What exactly am I to write?
Yes, we are.
What isn't really the issue. The question is how.
So what do you think of it all, Sir British? I think I don't know what to think. That makes two of us. If I didn't know anything about Jobst, I'd say he's right and absolutely truthful. But I've heard too much about him already.
How about writing
Likewise.
that you're concerned about
I do
current
feel he's the one
events
with the
and that
best
you
chance
want
to
to see
put things
things
right.
settled peacefully.
Well,
And then ask the
we'll see
opinion
what
of the
we
League
learn
of
from
Lords.
Berghoff.
Very well said,
If
sir.
the League of Lords stands
And
with Sigismund,
what they want to
then
know
our
about
chances
freeing
pale.
King Wenceslas.
In spite of everything
Whether
Jobst
they
said.
think liberating
shall
King
see.
Wenceslas
We shall
IV
see.
might contribute to resolving the
So,
dispute.
it looks like you're off on a mission.
Again.
I can't wait.
I don't want to dampen your spirits, my boy, but watch out. These are evil times, and who knows what can happen along the way. Not to mention that Berghoff is no saint.
Don't worry.
I've been through worse.
I know. You've shown you can fend for yourself, but do take care. You'll be traveling as Lord Capon's bodyguard. You'll be there to make sure nothing untoward happens to him. Keep your eyes peeled and your ears wide open. What Berghoff tells you is one thing, but what you see may be quite another.
Rest assured, Father.
And don't get embroiled in anything else. Just hand over the letter, hear out his reply, and return.
Yes.
Very well. Berghoff is at Trotsky Castle. I think you'll find it quite an eye-opener. It's one of the finest castles in the land. It's 3 days' ride from here, so unless you hit a snag along the way, you'll be back soon enough. Any questions?
Oh god.
I'm getting a bit lost in the Luxembourg lineage. It all seems a bit too tangled.
The Luxembourgs have ruled the Empire and Bohemia for almost 100 years now. Emperor Charles brought this land to prominence. When he was in power, things had never been so good. Wenceslas and Sigismund are his sons, but by different mothers. Jobst and Prokop are their cousins. They were entrusted with governing Moravia. But instead, they've been in a bitter armed feud for years. And now Sigismund's fallen out with Wenceslas. Wenceslas also had another brother, the youngest, John of Görlitz, who was most probably poisoned. They seem like a hot-blooded lot. It's hard to keep up with their affairs, since they tend to change their alliances from one day to the next.
Yeah.
Who is he really, this Jobst?
The cousin of King Wenceslas? He's the Margrave of Moravia. I admit I don't know what to make of him myself. Until recently, he was allied with the League of Lords. For a time, he even served Rupert of the Palatinate against the king. And now suddenly, he's reversed his position. I don't know what led him to do it, and one can't help being suspicious. It's best to keep a watchful eye on him. But he really is the leader of the resistance against Sigismund these days. We'll just have to see how it all turns out.
He probably has a plan to get it out. Get himself out somehow.
I'm a bit concerned so many people seem to think so little of King Wenceslas. You knew him, didn't you? What's he really like?
Well, there's no straightforward answer to that question. He certainly makes a great hunting and drinking companion, but he can be very fiery and impetuous when things don't go how he'd like them. He never had much of a head for high office. He finds it tiresome. But once a man's grasped the scepter, it's hard to let it go again. You can't just abscond. You've seen for yourself what happens when he disappears for a few months. Better a bad but legitimate king than a bloody war over the throne.
How about making it a democracy?
Who is this Prokop that Jobst spoke of?
Jobst's brother, the king's cousin. He and Jobst warred over Moravian supremacy for years. Then they were allies for a while, betrayed Wenceslas and sided with Rupert of the Palatinate. But after Sigismund abducted Wenceslas, Prokop fomented a revolt against him, and Sigismund had him captured. Politics. Make of it what you will. I, for one, can't make head or tail of it most of the time.
You don't see.
The League of Lords and that Berghoff we're off to see. Who are they exactly?
The lords of the powerful houses. Heinrich of Rosenberg, Otto of Berghoff, Heinrich of Radetz, and others. They're unhappy with the way their influence declined after Wenceslas surrounded himself with the lesser orders of nobility. They abducted the king years ago and made him bow to their will. They got away with it that time, and now they've joined forces with Sigismund and done it again. But now it seems that Sigismund's behavior is starting to rub them up the wrong way, so they may well be thinking twice. We'll see what Berghoff has to say.
I don't know all that much about Sigismund.
He's the king's younger brother and king of Hungary in his own right. 7 years ago, he led a crusade against the Turks and was defeated at Nicopolis. Some say it was due to the recklessness of the French knights, most of whom were mercilessly slaughtered. Sigismund is ambitious and capable. He might well make a better ruler than Wenceslas, but he's arrogant, and to our misfortune, brutal.
We've seen that.
He himself was held captive by the Hungarian nobility. They dislike him as much as some of the Czech and German noblemen do his brother Wenceslas. Ironically, Wenceslas joined forces with Jobst to liberate him. And now this is how Sigismund repays his brother. There's no doubt about it, God does move in mysterious ways.
Mysterious way indeed. Wait, I hope I'm not overstating my
Rupert of the
weight.
Palatinate. That's a name I hadn't heard before today.
Rupert is the Prince Elector of the Palatinate.
What's a Prince Elector?
Oh.
The Prince Electors are dignitaries of the Holy Roman Empire who have the right
I
to
played
elect the King of the
Europa
Romans, who would
Universalis,
then be crowned Holy Roman Emperor by the Pope.
so I know what this is.
Rupert took the title for himself with the help of 3 other Prince Electors, even though Wenceslas had already been appointed. Some of the nobility in the empire recognized Rupert's claim, but when he went to Rome to be crowned emperor, it turned into a fiasco. Now he's doing his utmost to get Wenceslas to acknowledge him, but so far without success. So, now we have 2 kings of the Romans. Jobst sided with Sigismund for a while, but now he switched allegiance. He seems to do that quite a lot.
Yeah, we can't really trust him.
That young man, Sir John of Liechtenstein. Why is he here?
The Liechtensteins are a powerful Austrian family with estates in Austria and Moravia. Sir John sits on Jobst's council. Since the king's being held captive in Vienna, I suppose it makes sense to have a powerful Austrian house as allies. It could be very useful.
Yeah.
That's about all.
Very well. Take the letter from Sir Hanush. And good luck, son.
Sorry about that. Ah, well then.
I believe we have written it well, gentlemen.
Without a doubt.
He
No
doesn't
one
know how
could
to
deduce
read.
from this whether we are Sigismund's allies or foes.
I must travel back to Brno now, but soon I will go to Brandenburg and I will stop here on the way back. By then, Sir Capon should be back and we can discuss how to proceed.
Right. Before you leave, my lord, there is one thing that gives me no rest. Why did Sigismund come as a foe? It makes no sense.
If I may, sir, I think I can explain.
Oh, please enlighten us, young sir.
I live not far from Hungary, where Sigismund reigns. It is a savage country, and the constant war with the Turks has hardened the people. They need a monarch with an iron hand. So when Sigismund felt the wind of revolt, he reacted as he would at home. Only what works on the Hungarian nobles does not work here in Bohemia.
Bringing order is one thing, but slaughtering and pillaging with a horde of barbarians quite another. What purpose does that serve?
But Sigismund did give the Bohemian nobles a chance to take his side. It was only when they refused his ultimatum that he lost patience and took to the sword.
As for the barbarians, he could afford nothing better. The Hungarian nobility would gain nothing from joining his campaign in Bohemia. He didn't have enough coin for a regular army, and so he recruited the Cumans. What he does not pay them, they make up for in plunder.
But in the end, he didn't have enough to even satisfy the Cumans. That's why he raided Gutenberg and Skalitz. He wanted the silver.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
My
Skalitz had the
lords,
silver
how's
mines.
the letter coming along?
It's done.
Then we can be on our way.
Now remember what we said, boy. All you have to do is deliver the letter, listen to the answer, and come back here. Don't provoke Berghoff in any way.
Provoke? Me? Never, Uncle. We'll be back in a few days. Farewell, your graces. Come, Henry, my men are waiting.
Our hair is grey out of a sudden. This looks like we've got old. Look at that! Oh my god. Fucking A. Oh, I got some money. I guess for the road. Complete the main storyline. If you like, you can still embark on side quests like this or just wander all. You can finish the game anytime by joining Sir Capon's squad. Oh, so if we do this,
The Lord be praised. What brings you to me?
it will finish the thing. Oh, the squad is up there in front. Sorry, pardon me. Well then. Ah.
So, can we set off now, Henry?
Yes.
Of course. I can't wait.
So, to horse! The Lord of Berghoff is bound to be waiting us eagerly.
And one final horse ride to end this game. Careful. Pardon me. Try not to fall off the fucking bridge. Oh my god. Where the hell is he going? Jesus, come on. Lord Capon. He will get to us. No, there you go. Where the fuck? Did he already get? What? Oh my god, really? Right. So the game was a little bit longer than I expected. I mean, this episode. We did finish the main thing in 30 minutes, but the after credits, it wasn't just an after credits scene, it was like an after credits fucking mission to start. Did do this. Are we still hated in Ratai, if I may ask? Reputation. Yeah, this is not very good. Oh yeah, let's put this. This is very good. Well worn. And vitality to give us... We already have something similar to that. I guess we'll get Revenant. So, yeah. Oh, Jesus. Here we go. Ready to set off. Far, far away from our domain.
How about it, Henry? Can we go? Are you ready for this?
Already said.
Of course. At last I'll get to see more of the country and have a bit of an outing.
Quite.
It's weird that they added this a little bit of an extra mission here at
Let's
the end.
get
They
to
could
it
have
then.
just made it a
I finally
cutscene.
have the feeling we're doing something worthwhile. We're helping to save the king.
Instead of saving his drunken majesty, I'd rather find that whoreson who murdered my parents, get the sword back from him, and skewer him with it.
Cheer up, Henry. I've a feeling you'll get your chance one day, and it won't be long in coming. Forward, men! Audentes fortuna juvat!
Audentas fortuna juvat? What? I need to know what that means. And the end. Yep, this has been it. So, I already said what I had to say about this game. If you guys enjoyed watching, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll see you next time with what I'm going to make. Wait, let me just go in and check out what that meant. Oh, it stops there, obviously, of course. So wait, Audentas fortuna juvat. Fortune favors the bold. Nice. Alright. Next time, it has stopped working.